All right. We are live. Good evening, my friends. Welcome in to Main Event Fantasy. My name is Nick, aka Perfect 216. You're watching Main Event Fantasy, and we are getting ready to rip some Best Ball Mania drafts, and I'm looking forward to it. Real quick, over my shoulder, I would appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and draft some of these guys. And we're going to focus on drafting some of those guys because I think they are league winners, and we're going to show it to you tonight. If you're new to what we're doing, we are drafting on Underdog Fantasy, as you can see. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, these are best ball drafts, which means when you draft a best ball team, you are drafting and there's no trades, there's no waiver wires, there is no commitment during the regular season. You can draft as many teams as you want. And once the season starts, that's it. The best players play based on how they perform. They will automatically fill in your lineup for you. And that's why we're able to draft hundreds of teams. We are well over 500 teams, rolling into 600 and plus teams, probably going to be to 700 by the time we get to the year start, which is, I believe, September 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got a lot of drafting to do before we get to the year to start. Real quick, just to get some housekeeping things out of the way, if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, here is a map of the states. I think they added Delaware recently. But anything in yellow, you can draft on Underdog Fantasy. And as long as you meet the age requirements. And drafting on Underdog Fantasy has its advantages because you can get into these big, giant tournaments, just like what we're going to get into right now, which is Best Ball Mania. It is 82%, almost 83% filled. We have 27 more teams that we can draft. Maximum amount of teams you can draft in this is 150. We will max draft this thing. We're going to try and draft 2 to 3 teams tonight on Best Ball Mania. $25 entry. And when you draft this, weeks 1 through 14, you got to be in the top 2 teams out of 12 to advance. Week 15, you got to be the best team in week 15. Then the best team in week 16. And if you can do all that, which is very hard to do, then you can get into a 539-seat final with your shot at $2 million for first place, $1 million for second, $500,000 for third, and so on and so forth. Listen, even if you get 112 place, you still get your money back. So it's pretty worth it. When you draft best ball teams, real quick, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, and 1 flex plus a bunch of bench players will be on your team. And the best players will automatically play for you. So let's jump right in to Best Ball Mania tonight. We are feeling good. I'm pretty sure yesterday, if you look back at my video yesterday, we definitely feel like we have a chance of winning $2 million based on the draft we did yesterday. If you're in this lobby, we have 2 more spots open to draft with us. So please draft, join our Main Event Fantasy, join the roster, jump in the ring with us. We draft live every night. I should say I draft live every night between 9 p.m. and midnight. We'll rip 2 to 3, if not 4 drafts, depending on how things go. Would love to have you draft with us. Please like and subscribe if you jump in on this video. If you learned something, fantastic. If you don't and you just enjoy the entertainment, awesome. If you found your way here and were bored out of your mind and you're not sure why you're here, hit a like button anyway, because sharing a little love always goes a long way. Subscribe and you'll know when I go live. And we can jump in. If you want to jump in the comments, ask your start sit questions, ask your draft strategy questions. I am here to help. I've been doing this for years. This is my 4th year in best ball, and best ball drafts is my favorite way to draft, especially ahead of the regular season. And these tournaments with real money are fantastic. I have been very profitable over the last 4 years since I've been doing this, and I'm hoping I can help you do the same thing. So thanks for stopping in. You're the best. All right. We are pick 8 in this one. Love to be pick 8. Actually, it's one of my most hated positions, if I'm being honest. While we're drafting tonight, you'll see my ranks next to the ADP. I did update them yesterday, so they are as current as they can be. So you'll see how I value players next to what the average player draft position is. Let's see what pick 8 holds for us. Pretty standard draft so far. I would absolutely love if Justin Jefferson would have fallen at 8. I've had it happen once before, but it did not happen. If you notice, I don't value Nico Collins very high. So I'm going to go ahead and pass on him for Malik Neighbors. And we'll take him at the 108. Yeah, 108 is not my favorite, although if I could have got Jefferson at 8, which I've had happen before, that would have been a really nice start to the draft. Philly Mike, what's up, my friend? I think your guys, those Eagles are set up for an awesome year. Chargers just traded for left tackle Paris Campbell Jr. from the Cardinals. WTF. You know what? I didn't see that, but if so, good for the Chargers, good for their running game, good for everything. Terrible decision by the Cardinals, if that's real, because the Cardinals definitely could use a solid left tackle, and he was pretty good all year. So I don't know what they're thinking trading him. But what do they get for him, Philly Mike? Let me know in the chat. What the heck did the Cardinals get if they're trading Paris Campbell? Did I say that right? Paris Campbell? Yeah. Why would they trade him? There's got to be a reason. Got to be a reason. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be one. We are 2 picks away, and we'll see what we get. Achan goes, I would love to get London or A.J. Brown. Does not matter which. I will be thrilled to get either one. And we'll get my man A.J. Brown here to start us out. So we're going to start out Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown. Nothing special about this draft at all. Pretty standard start. Not a unique start in any way, but we'll see what comes back to us in the 3rd round. Hope you guys, by the way, had a nice weekend. I need to look up what my man Philly Mike said about the Chargers. Is that a real thing? Let's see what I can find. Philly Mike might be messing with us, man. Might be messing with us. I do know that Shiloh Sanders got cut, or he got put on waivers, rather. But I think he'll find a team. I think people want to give him a shot. Let's see here. Paris Campbell is a wide receiver, so I don't know what he's talking about. You're killing me, Philly Mike. You're killing me. So I'm not seeing anything about Paris Campbell being traded whatsoever, other than the fact that he's a wide receiver. So I don't know what you're talking about, Philly Mike. But you know what? I'm not mad at you. Let's see what we got going on here. Take a quick peek. Paris Johnson, not Paris Campbell, first of all. I don't see that he got traded. I am not seeing it. Oh, wait, we're on the clock. Let me pause real quick. Hey, my man, pick 80s, pick 30, ADP 30. I'm sorry, we're going to get him at 32. Marvin Harrison Jr. Check it out over my shoulder. Y'all know Marvin Harrison Jr. should be drafted on your teams. He's going to tear it up this year. Write it down. Book it. It's going to happen. And by the way, so far, I don't know what Philly Mike's talking about because I have not seen anything about Paris Johnson Jr. being traded. And Paris Campbell's a wide receiver. So, Philly Mike, get it together, brother. So I was at the gym today, tearing it up in the Iron Paradise. And man, did I feel like I messed my back up. Like my lower right back is beyond jacked up. I need to find a masseuse tomorrow. Like someone needs to rub this stuff out. A masseuse, a chiropractor, something. Someone called Deshaun Watson and let him know I need a guy or a girl or both. Who knows? It's 2025. I'm not checking. All I know is I'm in pain. And I need a little bit of help. All right. We're going to just scroll down just a smidge here. Grab Jalen Hurts, a quarterback. Pair him up with A.J. Brown. And we're going to feel fantastic about what we just did there. So we've started in Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Jalen Hurts. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, now we are a little dry at running back, but we can fix that. That's no problem. There are greater tragedies in life than not having a running back in the first 4 rounds. There is stuff going on that I don't understand. And just looking at some of these teams that are in this room with us, I don't like a lot of them. Like, look at Joker's Party. Took Joe Burrow with their 4th pick. Someone tell this guy he doesn't have to hit it from there. If you've never seen Tin Cup and you're a golf fan, take a look and you'll understand that reference. I'm a big movie buff, so you'll get it. But someone tell this guy he doesn't have to hit it from there. If I could, I need to get my Stream Deck figured out so I can just pop up some random stuff on these streams because that would be fantastic. Same thing with some of these non-badge guys like Mr. Ramsey, who I'm not really sure what he's doing. T-Bone J, whatever. Didn't have to grab Jonathan Taylor that early or Daniels that early. And I feel like he put himself a little bit of, he lost his value. Jefferson at 1.7 lost his value. Should have taken the value of what was there. That's okay. My man left it for us. All right, we're on the clock. Let's take a quick peek. Whoa, whoa, whoa. ADP. What do we have here? Someone explained to me why Breece Hall is 42 ADP. We're going to get him at 56. I'm a little confused. And I'm going to say, thank you. Good, sir. I love it when a plan comes together. Don't you? Christian Ferguson. How you doing, man? Hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate you jumping in here with us. I'm doing fantastic. I pretty sure I won $2 million yesterday with the team that I drafted. I've been on a roll the last 4 years. Yesterday's draft made me very confident that what I've been doing feels great, and we're going to keep ripping them tonight. I've got about 27 more of these, I think it is, Best Ball Mania drafts, trying to win $2 million. We can draft up to 150 of these teams. I have drafted over, I think we're almost over 600 teams now, and we're going to keep ripping them and learning and getting smart. And now my regular redraft leagues, my dynasty leagues, etc., all those types of drafts. Well, I guess not the dynasty. All my regular redraft leagues are coming up on August 31st. So this just helps us get more prepared. But I'm feeling fantastic with how this draft has started. All right, Rome goes. We've got some options on the board. We're going to go ahead and grab what's at the top of ADP. We'll grab James Conner. I don't have a ton of James Conner, but I don't hate him. But y'all know my philosophy, and I'm kind of reversing it here, is these two guys, their counterparts are going to probably get a ton more running chances, pass catching chances this year in their offenses, and they go much later in drafts. So normally I don't take these two running backs. But when we have some values dropping to us, we just say thank you, scoop it up, and we move on with life. That's how we do things here. Who'd you draft? So far, my friend, we have Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Breece Hall, James Conner at running back. Wide receiver, we have Malik Nabers, A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison. We stacked A.J. Brown with Jalen Hurts, and we're feeling good. Yesterday, when we were talking about winning $2 million, which I'm pretty sure I feel confident that team has a real shot, we ended up with a nice Josh Allen and Drake May team, and we were able to get some great stacks, some huge values. Justin Jefferson was on that team, got some great values on that team. Just got done with my 10-man PPR 2 flex at the 108. Jameer, Amon-Ra, Tyreek, Lad McConkey, Henderson, Ibuka, Goff, etc. All right. So a couple things that I like that you did there is you double down on Detroit, right? You have Goff with Amon-Ra. Jahmyr Gibbs is a weird stack, but it works. So the fact that you did that, a lot of people are afraid. But you know what? Just like you, I'm here to win. I want first or last. I'm not here to get 6th place or 4th place or 3rd place in my leagues. I want to win. I win championships. That's what I do. So you got to bet on the stacks. So getting Goff with Amon-Ra makes a ton of sense. I like it. Hopefully you got a good depth amount when you got 2 flex. I love the fact that you have Amon-Ra, Tyreek, and Lad. That's a great wide receiver room. Ibuka, I like it. Who else did you get besides Jameer and Henderson at running back? Who else did you get at tight end? I'd love to hear about it. You have Achane somehow? Dude, I know it's a 10-man team, but that's ridiculous. Hold on one second. We are on the clock, my friend. Got to make some decisions here. We're going to keep the wide receiver room rolling. We're going to grab Jayden Reed here. Kind of feels like a gamble to get a guy like Jayden Reed, but he's got a lot of juice, a lot of energy. If he's healthy, feels good. And when you take a look, we're 8 picks away, and there is a ton of running backs available to us, and plenty of wide receivers coming right behind. Christian, I think you did a nice job drafting, my friend. I really, really do. At the 108, for you to be able to get Jahmyr Gibbs, my question is, what is your league mates doing? You must be drafting with some inexperienced drafters. There's no reason Jahmyr Gibbs should be going at the 108. 0. So way to scoop up the value. I talk about that on my stream all the time, that when you're drafting in your regular redraft leagues, know your team, know your league mates, understand your league settings, and make sure you capitalize on those things. So if you know your league teammates are going to take random players that leave you some values, whether you like the player or not, get you a shovel, scoop that up, and it sounds like you did a great job at doing that, my friend. Achane fell to the 3rd round because everybody was cautious of the injury. Kincaid for tight end. Depth is Johnson, Charbonnet. I mean, McMillan, are you kidding me? You absolutely smashed your draft, my friend. That's my opinion on it. That is my opinion. I'm sticking to it. We're going to go ahead and grab Keon Coleman here. If you look over my shoulder, I have 3 guys that I want you guys to draft in your best ball leagues, in your fantasy leagues, especially best ball. and it continues to be Jaylen Warren, Keon Coleman, and Marvin Harrison. We were able to grab 2 of those guys on this team, and we're going to feel fantastic about it. By the way, when you draft Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, Week 17, which is the fantasy football playoffs, Philadelphia plays Buffalo. So we have Keon Coleman here. So we have a bring back, that's what that's called, a bring back. And that takes our ceiling from here and raises our potential to here. Because if that game goes off, we are sitting good. And that's how you win money, my friends. Welcome to winning money in fantasy football. Someone reached on Puka and on Nico. Yeah, see, listen, here's the crazy thing. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know if they're right. We don't know if you're right. But here's what I'll tell you. Some years you're going to win. Some years you're going to lose. But I think if you play your cards right and you stack things like you did, you at least set yourself up for winning a championship. And that's all you can do. You have to do the best you can. What's the team you think will get you $2 million? So I've got a bunch of teams that I've drafted so far this year, and I'll show you real quick after the next pick or so. I will go back, pull that team up while we have a quick break, and I will show you what I did yesterday because I believe that team has everything it needs to win $2 million. I have won over the last 4 years drafting here an underdog, well over $10,000 every year for the last 4 years. And I like to keep that going, and I like to grow it. I would love to win the $2 million this year. At least that's the plan, my friends. That is the plan. Frizzle, how's it going, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you as always. Love to have you here with us. We're just drafting, grabbing us some winning fantasy football teams. I think the $2 million is gone because I'm pretty sure I drafted that already. Now we're trying to win another $1 million. Can you imagine if we won $2 million and $1 million because we're just galaxy braining some teams here? It would feel really nice. We will go ahead and just grab my man Zach Sharman, and we're going to skip down just a smidge here. Once we make this next pick, we're 8 picks away. I owe it to my friend Christian to show him what we did yesterday. Frizzle says, currently in my home league draft, you have CD, Drake, London, Kyron, and TreVeyon Henderson. That's a nice start. Seriously, I love CD this year. Love him every year. He's a route technician, and he is Dak Prescott's guy. Excuse me. As long as he stays healthy. Drake London, I think, is going to have a breakout year. I truly believe that. He's one of my favorite draft picks in round 2. Anytime you can get him or A.J. Brown, you should absolutely click that button. I'm not huge on Kyron. I don't love where TreVeyon goes in these best ball drafts, but if you can get him at values, I think they're good decisions. I really do. Took TreVeyon over James Conner. No, I don't think you did. Really, I don't. I think TreVeyon has a higher ceiling. James Conner's coming down. And I think you're going to see Trey Benson overtake him this year. I really, really believe that. So, and when you're drafting your teams, you're drafting not just for the beginning of the season, but for the season long and then the playoffs. So I think you did exactly what I would do. I think you made the right choice, my friend. I really do. So don't feel bad at all. I think it's a good decision. All right. Where are we going here at the 113? We've got options. We have options. All right, we don't have any San Francisco 49ers. That doesn't make sense. We can go Travis Etienne. We can go Bateman. What do we need more? I think that we're going to have some other guys we like at running back later. So we're going to let that fly. And we're going to go ahead and grab Rashad Bateman here. Which, by the way, him and Green Bay play Week 17. So there's a nice little correlation there. Real quick, I want to go back just briefly to yesterday's draft because I had a question about Look, I have entitled it winning $2 million. So real quick, if you take a quick look here, I drafted Josh Allen, Drake May. I got Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren, ETN, Trey Benson, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle, running back, wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, which doesn't happen that often to get these two together, Jameson Williams, Stephon Diggs, Khalil Shakir, De'Ami Brown, Ichi Vash, Dalton Kincaid, Cal Pitts, Chig. Kincaid and Shakir are double stacked with Josh Allen. Drake May is stacked up with Stephon Diggs. Philly plays Buffalo in week 17. We have a little bit of that bring back. So I was thrilled to get this team yesterday. So I really feel like this is the type of team that can win you $2 million. I feel great about it. So since we've already got $2 million in the bag, we're going to go ahead and try and draft this team tonight and get us another cool million. The pick's coming up again. Do I get another running back? It's 5th round. Let's see. Let me go back to what you said you're at. You had CD Drake. How many I'd have to know how many teams are in your league. Are you staying? No, I love Tet McMillan. I am well overweight on Tet McMillan. I would draft him a ton. If you need a wide receiver, go ahead and grab him. I love the value. I love rookies, and I think he's a smash pick. Bryce said he wanted him, and he's been targeting him, and I think he's going to be a great pick. 12-man. I think you didn't go wrong, my friend. So now you have what? Tet McMillan, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London. I love those 3 receivers. Kyron, Trayvon Henderson. So now you got to look at how do you complement that? Can you get, Dak Prescott? Can you get, Drake's quarterback? You need to stack those guys up would be my recommendation when you get to the quarterbacks. Get a couple quarterbacks that correlate for your team. All right. We're on the clock here. We're going to go ahead and grab Jordan Love as our second and final quarterback. Stack him up with Jaden Reed. Rashad Bateman, Baltimore for the bring back. We're going to feel pretty good about it. And then we'll see what comes back to us in 6 picks. I think you're doing a great job, Frizzle. I really do. Don't panic. He said, I panic. Don't panic. Stay fluid. Let it come to you. Sports 101, welcome in, my friend. He got Tet in round 8 of a 10-man. My league mates are dumb. Listen, if you got Tet in round 8, you're right. Your league mates are absolutely foolish. They should be watching our channel, jumping in with us, and they could learn something from you, from me, and we can smarten them up a little bit. Absolutely. Actually, maybe you don't want to share the stream with them because then they get a little smarter. You can pick their pocket, my friend. I don't know how you get 10 in round 8. That's just right. Now, I don't do a whole lot of 10-man teams because I feel like it's just a little bit like I like to force you to have a little bit of depth. So I don't love doing that, but all right, we are going to probably go and scroll down just slightly here. We're going to grab Dallas Goedert as our first tight end, which double stacks Jalen Hurts with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. We feel great about that. And then there's plenty of options coming back to us here that we like. We're going to be done at quarterback when we have go Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love. When you get an elite quarterback, you only need 2 because you can only start 1 in Best Ball Mania. And best ball drafts in general, you can only start 1 quarterback unless it's a super flex, and we are not in a super flex type of draft. Do round 6, do I look for a tight end and go another running back? It depends on who's on the board, I think. So I think you're sitting pretty good. I would look at quarterback. I would look at tight end. I don't know what's available to you to be able to advise you here. I think you need to take the best talent available that people are passing. Take the values, scoop it up. If you haven't got an elite tight end, I usually wait till later to get tight end. I would grab a good running back or start to get some, correlated quarterbacks for your team. But I usually punt. If you don't get an elite tight end, I usually punt that to the back But I also recommend getting elite quarterback if you're going to punt elite tight end. So you're kind of doing both. So you might as well scoop up the value. So find the value in your draft. Who are people just saying, hey, I don't think it's good? If they're running down ADP, and just grab those, because even if you have extra guys on the bench, you can package some things later and find you a tight end or find you an extra quarterback that you're going to really love. And you'll be able to rob them because they'll be begging for you to trade them something good. Begging. It's going to happen. We're going to go ahead and grab Ray Davis here as our fourth running back. ADP at 132. We get him at 152. Someone tell this draft room they should wake up, because they've given us some great running back values with Breece Hall, with Ray Davis. We're going to say thank you and keep it moving. So far, I feel really, really good about this draft room, and hopefully we'll be able to keep this going. They just took Dak from me. I'm 5 picks away. I mean, that's okay. You don't feel like you need it. You can get Michael Penix there to go with Drake. I would think that's a good idea. You could do Michael Penix and Kyle Pitts. You could do a double stack there if you really wanted to. But I don't think anyone's going to draft Penix anyway, unless they have Kyle Pitts. So just take whatever value is available to you, because you can work some things later on. If there's a running quarterback on the board, a rushing quarterback, like let's say Justin, with New York Jets, take the value there. But you're going to need 2 quarterbacks, and you're going to need 2 tight ends, because you did not go in elite either one. So you're going to need 2 of each, my friend. At least that's what I would do. I may or may not be right. All I'm saying is trying to help. Woo! We snuck Chigakonkwo in here as our second tight end. I like that. That was close. I got a little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. So far we have Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love at quarterback, Breece Hall, James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, Ray Davis at running back, Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Rashad Bateman at wide receiver, Dallas Goedert, Chig Okonkwo at tight end. We did double stack our Philadelphia Eagles with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert with our friend Jalen Hurts. Jordan Love stacked up with Jaden Reed. So we've got a little bit of stacks. We've got some bringbacks with Buffalo and Baltimore. This is a nicely laid out team, and we've gotten some nice values. Don't love it, but don't hate it. Jackson Taylor, welcome, my friend. Can you help me with a crazy trade? Absolutely. Just send me what it is, and we'll take a quick look. Frizzle says Hockenson, Andrews, Tucker Kraft, and Njoku are still up for a tight end. I personally like all 3 of the first. I don't like Njoku. I think he's going to be he'll have some weeks he goes. He's not going to be consistent enough for me. I'd rather have Hockenson or Andrews would be my 2 picks there. At quarterback, you said Kyler, Drake May, Justin, Caleb. All of those are great. You don't have the pairing for them, but I think they all have upside in rushing. So you could get even one of those guys and backstack them later on. You can get values there. And even if you don't need to stack, it's fine. I think they're going to be great. And that's the order I would take them in. Actually, I would probably go Kyler, Justin, Drake, Caleb, if it were me. But that's just me. We're on the clock. Sorry. Let me take 10 seconds here. And we'll just say thank you. We'll scoop up Hunter Henry, who falls to us at 176 with an ADP of 158. We'll say thank you, sir. May I have another? We'll be done at tight end with Goddard, Chig Okonkwo, and Hunter Henry. New England plays the Jets in week 17. So there's a little bit of a week 17 bring back there. So we know we're done at tight end. We know we're done at quarterback. So we're going to get at least 1 more running back and probably 2 more wide receivers would be my guess, but we'll see. We could always go 1 wide receiver and 2 running backs. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I would say if Hawkinson's gone, Andrews and Kraft are fantastic options, if I'm being honest. If you need, I mean, you can get both. But you're in a pretty good place with what you drafted already. You did a really nice job starting out, in my opinion. Jackson, let me know what that trade is, and I'd be happy to help you, my friend. Sports 101, welcome in, my friend. This team is kind of loaded. I got to be honest with you. I feel pretty good. It's not perfect. I think yesterday's team that I showed earlier in the stream, I'm pretty sure won $2 million. But this team really, really sits nicely. I feel really, really good about the amount of talent here. I think our tight end room, every week, anybody can score and go off. I think we have plenty of wide receiver talent. And we got some really nice values at running back. And we have an elite quarterback. I feel great. I really, really do. So we need one more running back. And I got to be honest with you. Who better than my friend Nick Chubb? Goes at 164. And we're going to get him at 185. He's probably going to start week 1 as the running back 1. And listen, as a Nick Chubb fan, I am a Browns fan by trade. So knowing Nick Chubb and what I know about him, you Houston fans should be thrilled to have him. He is a dog. He is a hard worker. He is a leader by his actions. And I promise you, he will show up for you this year. Make no doubt about it. So getting him here, 20 picks past, 2 rounds past ADP, feels amazing. So now we're going to smash wide receiver through the rest of this draft. We're pretty much done with everything else. And, we'll see if there's anything that makes sense here. I think we double stack Philly. We got a single stack Green Bay. We don't need to push anything. So we're just going to find the value, scoop it up. And we're going to say, thank you. That's the plan. How do you feel about Tyler Warren? I like Tyler Warren. I like him for an upside. So if you're going to get 2 tight ends on your team, you could get Tyler Warren, let's say, and Mark Andrews, right? And you could play the matchups, see if Tyler Warren breaks out. I would start maybe a Mark Andrews and then let Tyler Warren sit on your bench. And if he goes off, then you go, okay, this guy's legit. And, if not, then, no big deal. You're in a 10 team, so there's plenty of tight ends that you can stream, honestly. Tight end is the easiest position to stream based on matchups. Just make sure you get a couple of quarterbacks you feel good about. And if you don't feel good about tight ends or quarterbacks, just load up on running backs and wide receivers. And when everyone else is begging for one after injuries happen, you make some huge trades, do some 2-for-1 deals and upgrade at other positions. That's what I would do. Nobody wins their fantasy football league in the draft. You win it through other things like trades. You win it through waiver wires when you're in your regular redraft leagues. All right. Y'all know I'm a fan of Michael Wilson because he is the wide receiver 2 on an offense that's going to hopefully get better. I like when I'm picking at pick 17, pick 18, these guys are probably not going to score points every week because these other guys are probably going to be my guys that score points for me regularly. So I want guys that are going to be on the field. I want guys that have a chance to score. Michael Wilson has that chance. If they're not throwing to Harrison, they might throw to Michael Wilson. So if it's not his game, then maybe it's his. And then we have an interchangeable matchup there. So I don't have a problem doing that. We need one more wide receiver and complete this team. I can promise you one thing. It will not be a man from the Arizona Cardinals. I got plenty of them. Let me click on my ranks here and see what we have going on. Plenty of good quality receivers to pick from. Christian Watson could come back around week 5. Listen, I have drafted a couple teams with Christian Watson on it. That dude is electric. Y'all forget about him. And if he comes back week 5, I think I'm going to draft him on this team. I'm not going to lie. If he comes back week 5 and he goes off, him and Jaden Reed, and we double stack him with Jordan Love, and no one's drafting this guy, we're winning money, right? We're printing money at that point. So let's recap the team. We got Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love at quarterback, Breece Hall, James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, Ray Davis, Nick Chubb at running back. Wide receiver, we have Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Rashad Bateman, Michael Wilson, Christian Watson. Tight end, we have Dallas Goedert, Chig Okonkwo, and Hunter Henry. Very well-balanced team. Double stack both Green Bay and Philly, and get some nice values at running back and wide receiver through this draft. I feel really good. It's a really nice start to tonight. We got plenty more drafting to do. So let's go ahead and get into some more. By the way, if you're not sure, Puppy is in here, $5 draft. I've definitely ripped 10 of those today. There's a $10 flock contest. I'll get into some more of those. And we'll keep going. If you want to draft with us, I'm going to give you a quick countdown. We're going to get into another Best Ball Mania. I have 26 more of these that I can do. Would love to have you draft with us. In my description of all my videos, I have a link you can click on. You can click on that link, use my promo code PERFECT216, and in your first deposit, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. If you deposit $100, you get $50 for free. If you deposit $200, you get $100 for free, and so on. So don't leave that money on the table. Use my promo code PERFECT216. All right, here's your countdown. If you want to draft with me, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going in. There are 8 more spots in this draft. Would love to have you guys drafting with us. Let's see. Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren, my friend, 1,000%. Look on the board behind me. I'm sorry I'm a little late to the party on your post or on your comment. Draft Jalen Warren. He is one of my favorite guys. He will be the RB1. He will be a pass catcher. Caleb Johnson is going to start the year as the RB3 in Pittsburgh. He will have to earn his way up, and maybe he's decent. His draft capital is not that high. And Jalen Warren, I think, is this year's Chase Brown. Write it down. He's my most drafted running back. I will smash Jalen Warren in every draft I can. You took Kyler Murray and Mark Andrews. Good choices. I think very good decisions. I really, really believe that. Really, really believe that. Do you play any regular fantasy leagues or only best ball? I do Dynasty. I have some Dynasty leagues. I have my regular redraft leagues, like we're talking about. I have some 12-man teams. I have some 10-man teams. Actually, most of mine I draft closer to the season starting. I draft a bunch of teams on August 31st. I think I have 6 redraft leagues with different friends and folks like that I will draft on August 31st. If I have time, I'll stream them here, but I don't know that I will because I've got friends I'm drafting live with on some of those drafts. And then I do have a ton of best ball. And the reason I do best ball is it helps me prepare for my redraft leagues, but also I win a ton of money on best ball drafts, guys. If you love drafting teams, like I genuinely love drafting teams. It is fun for me. And if you love drafting fantasy football teams, if you've never done this, please try it. Just find these $5 drafts like the Puppy, draft a few teams. You're going to feel great. It's addicting. It's kind of scary. It's addicting. Whoa. CMC went at 3. Someone call a doctor. This man took CMC at 3. We're here at the 109. Let's get weird. Gibbs at 5. Barkley at 6. I would beg if Justin Jefferson made it to the 9. He won't, but I wish he would. Goes at 7. I was getting excited there. let's get weird tonight. So we already had Neighbors. I don't want y'all to get too comfortable with Neighbors. Watch this. We're going to go Genty at 9. We're about to get crazy because that's what we do here. You think round 9 is good to pick up Mixon? Listen, I think Mixon is actually a really nice pick later in drafts. He is now – they originally said he's going to miss like 8 weeks. Now they're saying that Mixon is going to be ready maybe even by week 1, if not week 2. So, yeah, pick round 9 if you don't need him and you're just throwing him on the bench and wait and see. Absolutely. Grab you some Joe Mixon. Don't feel bad about it either. Stash him, and then there'll be a bunch of people going, man, I wish I had a decent running back. Wait, this guy's got 5 of them. Let me get one of his. And then you package a couple together and upgrade your roster, and you are slaughtering the rest of your league. Real quick, if you don't know what we're doing, this is Best Ball Drafts on Underdog Fantasy. Please like and subscribe. I will go live every night between 9 and midnight, drafting these teams, trying to win a whole bunch of cash. We've done it every year for the last 4 years, and we're going to keep doing it because that's what we do here. I'm not perfect, but I try to be. I guess technically my name says I'm perfect. We're going to go ahead and grab Achane here, and we're going to do a very weird start. We're going to go Genty and Achane. And this is a little unique because most of the time these guys go in the second round together. And so most people don't have them back to back. So I kind of forced myself to start a unique team by skipping out on some others. And in Best Ball Mania, you got to have some uniqueness, right? Shamrock, hey, my friend. Love to see you in here. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you're crushing some drafts yourself. Shamrock says, we did our draft slot picks today in redraft and got the number 2 pick. Listen, number 2 is fantastic. If it's me, if Jamar Chase is there because they want to go running back, you say, thank you, sir. May I have another? If not, you take Bijan Robinson. That's my opinion. If you don't like Bijan, I think Saquon here's how I view the running backs. Bijan first, Saquon second, Gibbs third. If you really don't want to go running back and Chase is gone, I would get Justin Jefferson over CeeDee Lamb. That's me. I'm just giving you my rankings, my feeling on everything. Let me know what you're thinking. I do believe, like, if you look at pick 2, most of the time you can get some really nice running backs in pick 2. So be prepared. If you take, let's say, Bijan Robinson, you're going to be a little light on running back value coming back. You're probably looking at a double running back start. And then you hit a wide receiver in the 3rd, 4th round. If you don't like that, then take like Justin Jefferson at 2. Come back and get Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd round. And then maybe you get Bucky Irving, Kyron Hampton, and you do a double running back that way. I think you got a lot of ways you can play it at the 2. And I've played it both ways, and I really like it. I promise I do. All right, we are coming back around. The quarterbacks are starting to go. When we start double running back, this is called double anchor RB. That's the strategy when we start double running back, which means we need to stop touching the running back position, and we need to start smashing wide receiver. So we'll take Garrett Wilson here. Unless you get extreme value, never write this down. Get you a little pen. Put it in Sharpie so it's permanent marker. Do not go 3 running backs in a row or 4 running backs in a row in any draft, or you will lose. Unless you get extreme value. If you get Jonathan Taylor falling to you in the 3rd round, you're going to take him, and that's fine, and you work it out. But anchor or double anchor RB is good enough to win you, and it's proven. After I make my next pick, I will show you why, because data backs this up. The best draft strategy over the last 2 years has been anchor RB or double anchor RB. If you can get a elite quarterback and a wide receiver avalanche stacked up with an anchor RB, you're even better. But it is proven, guys, proven that you increase your chances of winning money and performing high when you do anchor or double anchor RB. Robust RB, which is 3 or more in the first few rounds, is not a proven strategy. We're going to take Mike Evans here as our second wide receiver. And then let me back this out for you guys. Let me show you one thing. On the screen, real quick, I did a comparison for you of this is all teams that played best ball drafts in 2023 and 2024. Look at the effectiveness of the different types of draft strategies you can have. This shows you what was more effective and what was less effective each year. It is very, very unlikely to, you can go back to this hyper fragile 2 to 3 earlier than stop. That is a scary thing, but it did work in 24 because you didn't have the injuries in the dominant rounds of running back, but that's not every year. But every year it's elite to go hero running back, both years. Every year. It's usually good to go wide receiver avalanche. I don't like zero RB. So that's a little bit of uniqueness here, and then elite quarterback is great every year, at least for advance rates. So this kind of gives you an idea, when you do robust RB, 3 RBs in the first 4 to 5 rounds, it's terrible. So it just proves to you what works and what doesn't. And I'm just here to share with you the facts, not anything less. Shamrock says, thanks. It's that second round that has me going, Yeah, it's hard. So, I love Bijan Robinson. And I think that I would probably take Bijan Robinson. And then if you know your league mates, right? If you're okay punting quarterback and tight end, then you could do Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, and feel fantastic. And then just smash wide receiver after that. If you don't like that and you really, really, really want a elite quarterback on your team, then I would say you start Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, whoever you like better at the 2. Come back and get Chase Brown, Jonathan Taylor, whoever at the 2, and then go ahead and get Allen Jackson at the 3. And then you kind of give yourself some options there. It just really depends on how you like to draft your teams. But you want to think things out in advance. And if you know your league mates, then that can give you an advantage too. If they're going to be guys that pull up random players differently, then, it kind of makes you think a little bit different on how you draft. Sports 101 says, I got Jefferson in the 105, Collins at the 206. I know you draft lots. Is that rare? Absolutely. To get Jefferson and Collins on the same team is very rare. They both go usually in round 1. So to get them together where they draft is extremely, extremely rare. Great start. Love to hear that. And congratulations, by the way. All right, Calvin Ridley. We're going to take him. He's at the top of ADP. He's also the number 1 in his offense. And 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons since he's been back with a new quarterback who's probably going to be 1,000 times better than what they've had in the last 2 years. So I smell, not what the Rock's cooking, but I smell what Calvin Ridley's cooking with Cam Ward, and that's a 1,200-yard season at least. And if they're halfway decent on the offense, he could stumble in the end zone a little bit more and crush his ADP. I really like getting Calvin Ridley where he goes. I really do. And it gives you a chance, if you need quarterbacks later, to get a quarterback who goes much later in drafts. It makes a ton of sense. When we go double RB to start, we're going to let running back fly away off the board. We're going to take the values that come to us. We're going to grab Rome here. I do like Rome. He is a second-year receiver, first-round draft capital on an offense that's ascending. Y'all know I like Rome. So we've started Ashton Genty, Devon Achane. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley, Rome Odunze. A little bit of a unique team for me. Shamrock says, thanks for the advice. My friend, anytime. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just giving you a different perspective to think about it so you can hopefully make the best decisions for you. You got to make the decisions you feel best with because you got to go into the season going, you know what? I feel confident. I feel good. And I want you to feel confident and good. You're going to crush. Like I've always said, and I guess if you're a movie buff, you'll get it. Ricky Bobby once said, if you're not first, you're last. And that's kind of what it is in fantasy football, right? You got to be first or you're going to be last. I don't want to be fourth place. Fourth place does nothing for me, although in Best Ball Mania it'll get me like $300,000. But in most of your regular redraft leagues with 12 players, fourth place, who cares? Let me be last. I don't need it. I want to win. So if I'm playing to win, I'm going all in. Sports says, oh, yeah, he already said that. Sorry. I apologize that I double tapped your comment. And I'm feeling good tonight. I know we're in draft 2. I may draft 4 teams tonight. Who knows? I was waiting for Underdog. I want them to throw out another like $200 or $300 or $400 draft or something like that. And as we get a little closer, when we get close to the start of the regular season, we're going to go all in on a very, very high buy-in draft. I've done the Dalmatian, the $101 draft. I've done these Huskies, these $40 ones. I've done the big dogs. I'm sorry, not the big dogs. The Bulldogs, which are, I think, $75 drafts. I've done those. I got it. I want to do more. I am itching. These last 2 weeks, I'm going to absolutely draft a ton of teams because we're on the home stretch. We are on the home stretch. Infamous nobody on the clock. He's got Jordan Mason here. I like that pick. We're going to go ahead and take Sam Laporta as our first tight end. Sam Laporta going into year 3 on a good offense. They play in a dome half the year. I think he definitely has breakout potential. Very talented on an offense that is going to probably throw the ball a bunch. Don't mind having him at all. Hey, Shamrock says, shake and bake. Yes, sir. Shake and bake, baby. I saw that movie. I was outside on my patio with the kids. They were just playing outside, playing in the water, jumping on the trampoline, etc. And I have a TV on my patio. And it popped up, and I was like, it feels good to watch that pop up. All right, so when we have double anchor RB, normally I would draft Jaylen Warren here. However, I'm going to get Keon Coleman instead because we have a double anchor running back. And when we're counting on double anchor with your first 2 picks, you're assuming they're going to smash and take control all year long of most of your points at running back. So you're going to punt running back a little bit further down, and you're going to scoop up values in other positions. So, and if you see the sign over my shoulder, I've got a few names written down you guys should think about drafting. That is Jaylen Warren, Keon Coleman, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Put them down. Those are the types of guys with where they're going. They are league-winning players. Can get your top rookie sleepers at each position. Absolutely. Love to share. So let's just look through this. You're talking about sleepers, though. So I guess it depends on how you define sleepers, because in these best ball drafts, we're looking at rookies that are, we've got 18 rounds of drafting. In your regular home leagues, you're probably looking at, 12 rounds of drafting. Excuse me. So let's talk about it. Sorry, 1 second. Let me try and scroll down and give you some. I mean, I think if you're looking for tight ends and you've punted it, I think you can get your, Tyler Warren, your Loveland. I think those are fine picks at tight end if you're looking to get one. Right now, JCM is kind of a hot target in Washington now that they've traded Brian Robinson Jr. I don't love it. I actually think that you should look at Chris. What is his name? Chris Rodriguez, who goes much later. I think he might be the goal line guy. He might even show up to be the guy, and he goes much later. I like a lot of year two guys better than the rookies. I think Dylan Sampson's a great pick later as a sleeper running back. I really do. Oh, hold on. We're about to be on the clock. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grab Jaden Higgins here. Speaking of rookies, I think Jaden Higgins is a great option if he's later in drafts. I think he would be a great choice as a rookie. We'll call it a sleeper. The problem is in most redraft leagues, you don't need a lot of – there's so many wide receivers that can score points because you usually have only one flex, right? It's the quarterback, tight end, and running back. Running back in particular. If you only have one flex in your leagues at home, your home leagues, get the extra running backs early. Would be my recommendation. Get the guys you know are going to put up massive points and they'll give you a big advantage. Get the elite quarterback, kick tight end down the road. You can stream that later. And then get a handful of wide receivers that you can stack with quarterbacks or etc. But sorry, we're about to get Justin Jefferson is what I'm sorry, Justin Fields here to pair up with Garrett Wilson is what I'm thinking is about to happen. And I'm going to feel fantastic about it. Yeah, buddy. Let me go back here. I'll just go through rookies in general and who I like from top to bottom. How about that? Might make it easier on you. And then based on so Hampton in the third round, love it. If you need a running back, I think he's a great pick. Henderson's a good pick. I don't like where he's going now. I think people are just on recency bias. He's going too early, from my opinion. I liked where he was going. McMillan, love. He is one of my top drafted wide receivers this year. He was somebody that Bryce Young wanted them to draft, demanded that they drafted him, and he's a big body guy. He is a true X receiver. I think McMillan is similar to a Drake London type player, and I think he could be Carolina's answer as an X receiver for years to come. So love him, especially in Dynasty. I love him. Let's see, just continuing to go down rookies. I don't like RJ Harvey. I'm sorry for you Denver Broncos fans. I think he's just okay. I don't think he's it. Hunter's okay. The problem with Hunter I have is because he's going to play defense, it's going to limit his snaps on offense. That's what I think. I think they're going to, if he plays 70% of the snaps on offense, that prevents him from being a 90% guy, which most wide receiver ones are. So I don't love him in that regard, but I think he's very talented. Let's see. Let's keep going. I hate Johnson. Warren, we talked about. Let's keep it going. Loveland, we talked about. Higgins, so far, Higgins is a really nice guy. I think they're massively want to throw in Houston. I think he could be a really great receiver. I like Higgins a lot. Burden's okay for a stash. Scadabo's okay for a stash. I like his attitude. Cam Scadabo might be the kind of guy that you need in your leagues for years to come. Like, I really like that guy. I don't have enough of him, if I'm being honest. But I do like him. All right, let's see what we have coming around. All right. Welcome to the land of obscure quarterbacks and wide receivers. I'm going to go ahead and grab CJ Stroud here as our quarterback to pair him up with Jaden Higgins, and we're going to feel fantastic about it. 6 more picks away. How do you feel about Nick Chubb? Is he a good bench spot? I do like Nick Chubb a lot. So as a Browns fan, like a Browns lifer, I've followed his career in college. I followed him in pros, and while he's had the injuries, listen, if you don't know anything about Nick Chubb, the guy is a true team player. He is a competitor. He is a quiet warrior, and he is a gym rat. And if anybody's going to be ready for the season and can make a comeback, I promise you shouldn't feel bad about drafting a guy like that. All right, real quick, we're on the clock. We got options here. We're going to go with Braylon Allen, actually, for now. Double stacks with Justin Fields. It's kind of a negative correlation, but I really like Braylon Allen this year. Yeah, I think Nick Chubb, and actually he may start the year, week 1. And he's going to have a role all year, mark my words. Even if Joe Mixon comes back, I still think they're going to rotate him out. And where you can get Nick Chubb later in drafts, I think he's a fantastic bench spot. And if Mixon is actually hurting worse than we think, Nick Chubb's the RB1 in an offense that could be pretty good. So don't feel bad about grabbing him and throwing him on a bench. Should I bother picking up a backup tight end for Mark Andrews, or should I pick one off waivers? It depends on your league settings. I usually will grab a second tight end if you've punted tight end for a while. I'll grab tight end 2. Usually my draft strategy though is I'm either going to go elite tight end or elite quarterback, usually elite quarterback in the first few rounds. I will punt tight end and get 2. I don't like to punt tight end and quarterback in redraft leagues. I like one or the other to be elite. But if you punted both, I would get both. I would get 2 of both. I would get 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks on your team. Give yourself options and see who performs better. Play the matchups. That's what I would do. Oh, man. My back is killing me. So I went to the gym today after church, and I was tearing it up, feeling good. Chest day, a little bit of legs, feeling good. Got home after grabbing some lunch, and all of a sudden, I just felt my back seize up on me. And I am someone who I have scoliosis in my spine. So if y'all don't know what that is, it means my spine's crooked. I didn't find out till I was 32 years old, and I've been a sports guy my whole life. I've played sports my whole life, and it's just I don't know. I guess for some reason it was never found out. I don't know why, whether it was physicals or whatever. Nobody ever said anything, and so I deal with some back pain regularly, and I am feeling it today. But it's not going to stop me from hitting the gym. It's not going to stop me from being a good dad. It's not going to stop me from staying healthy. It's just who I am. I don't know any other way. I kind of want to get a third quarterback on this team. I think it would be fun to stack Calvin Ridley with Cam Ward. If he falls here, we will say thank you. He's got an ADP of 151. I am ranked at 145. We could get him at 160. That would be nice. Never mind. Cam Ward goes 157. So he's out. We're going to stop at 5 running backs no matter what we do. And we're going to end up with probably three tight ends. We'll grab Hunter Henry here as our second tight end. And we'll feel pretty good about it. It feels like a pretty balanced team overall, if I'm being honest. Frizzle said, should I bought? Oh, no, you already did that. I'm so sorry. Is Zach Ertz good backup? Yeah, I think so. I think he's a tight end play where you play the matchups. He can fall into the end zone every week or every other week. I think he's a fine backup on a good offense. And he's proven that even though he's getting older, that they want to use him. And listen, if he doesn't show up, you drop him, no big deal. You grab somebody else, right? And you don't feel bad about it. Real quick, if I can entice you all, if you have not put a like or a subscribe on the channel or this video, please. You would make me a very happy man if you would do that. We're trying to grow the channel, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Likes and subscriptions go a long way. Please share it in other streams with other friends. Let's grow this together. It would mean a lot. I'm going to draft teams whether I'm doing it live or not. And if I can help some people along the way, then that's what I'm here for. So if you're getting some value out of this, if you just like the entertainment, maybe you hate it and you just happen to be here, throw a like on the stream anyway. Why not be a nice person and do some positive in the world? I would appreciate it. If you don't know what best ball drafting is, I'm happy to go over it with you. Just ask some questions. In my link of all my videos of the description, I do have a link for Underdog Fantasy, which is where we're drafting. You can come draft live with us. Use my promo code PERFECT216, and you can get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. So if you put in $200, you get $100 free. Put in $500, you get $250 free. Guys, that's a lot of money. If you put in $1,000, you get $500 they're going to give you for free. Free! I don't know anywhere you can go in with that kind of money. So use my promo code PERFECT216 if you've never drafted an underdog before, and use the promo code. RJ Tequila. First of all, love the Thanos little crown there going on. I like it. Full PPR, Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon for K9. I'm going to say yes. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Aaron Jones, 30 years old, going on the other way. I think Joe Mixon, again, same thing, injury risk. I would just do it. Feel good about it. That would be me. It would feel like an upgrade. I think you should feel good about doing that and making that move. I really do. All right, we're back on the clock here. We're trying to win $2 million. We're going to go ahead and get our third tight end of the evening and our final tight end. We're going to get Mason Taylor. That double stacks us with Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson with Mason Taylor. So love that for us here. We're going to need one more running back in this team, one more wide receiver, probably two, unless we want to get a third quarterback. You know what fits this team really well? Some guy named Chris Rodriguez, who may end up being Washington's running back one by the time middle of the season comes along. If you're not paying attention, you've been a little bit under a rock. Brian Robinson Jr. was traded. What they have is old man Austin Eckler, who I like, by the way. You have the rookie, JCM, who was taken in, I don't even know what round. It wasn't rounds 1, 2, or 3. I think it was like rounds 4 or 5. And then Chris Rodriguez, who's more of a goal line power back. So why not take a guy like that later in rounds like this and take a shot on an offense that's going to be pretty good? Maybe he'll surprise some people. There's a reason they trade Brian Robinson Jr. If they feel good about JCM and Chris Rodriguez, they wouldn't trade him if they didn't. So take a shot on a guy that's late in drafts, and you'll feel good about it. We're going to go ahead and get probably two more wide receivers. We'll probably stop here at quarterback with Justin Fields, CJ Stroud. we'll feel pretty good about that. We're done at running back. We're done at tight end. Y'all know in these best ball teams, you get to start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end every week, plus 1 flex. So you could start 2 tight ends. You could start 4 wide receivers. You could start 3 running backs. So that's kind of the vibe with the flex. So that's kind of how this works. If you've never played best ball, this is my favorite way to win money. It's my favorite way to draft teams and prepare for your regular home leagues, your redraft leagues, because you understand the values, you understand the different strategies. I've drafted almost 600 teams this year already. I've been drafting since April. So I understand the dynamics of what's been going on in the market, and that's why I'm setting us up for success for the long term. And I'm not saying all this to brag. I know I've won a lot of money over the last 4 years doing best ball drafts. I'm saying it because I'm encouraging you guys to be here because I want to help. And I'm not telling you what I do is right every year. I make plenty of bad decisions. But for every bad decision I make, I'm hoping I make 2 right ones. And that leads to winning money and winning championships in fantasy football. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? I need to try and find a way to, like, this year, I need to find some leagues where, with my buddies, that we just embarrass people with, like, if you're like the last place team, like maybe there should be something we should do to the last place team, you know? All right. Ideally here, I'd like to finish the draft with going Troy Franklin and Jalen Noel, I think is where I want to go. Well, if we get Noel, that'll double stack Houston with Stroud, and that'll feel kind of nice. Feel nicey, as my man John Gruden said. Nicey. Freiermuth, he's alive. Glad to see he goes here at 206. All right, after this, we'll get one more. We'll get Noel. So let's recap the team, and we'll get into the next draft. We got Justin Fields, CJ Stroud at quarterback. Running back, we got Genty, Achane, Braylon Allen, Javonte Williams, Chris Rodriguez. Wide receiver, we have Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley, Rome Odunze, Keon Coleman, Jaden Higgins, Troy Franklin, Jalen Noel. Tight end, we got Sam Laporta, Hunter Henry, Mason Taylor. We did double stack our New York Jets with Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, with Justin Fields. We double stacked CJ Stroud with Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. The Jets played New England in Week 17, which is the fantasy football playoffs. So we have Hunter Henry for that matchup, which is kind of nice. I guess I technically triple stacked negative correlation with Braylon Allen on the Jets too. So we'll see how that goes. Not a bad draft. And we're going to get into another one right now. So if you want to draft with us, there are plenty of contests to do it. We're going to get into another Best Ball Mania. Guys, we are whittling down. I started with, you can maximum draft 150 teams in Best Ball Mania. This is a $2 million to first place, $1 million to second, $500,000 to third contest. I have 25 more teams I can draft before September 4th or before this fills, whatever comes first. We're going to do one more in this tonight. If I do a 4th draft, I will do a smaller one. But let me give you a countdown in case you want to draft with us live. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going in Best Ball Mania. And there are 8 spots left, 7 now in this draft if you want to draft with us. In the link in all my videos, I have the link to Underdog Fantasy. Make an account. Put in your first deposit. Use my promo code PERFECT216 for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Frizzle says DeMario Douglas or Marvin Mims. I would take Mims in this scenario unless you had Drake May. Mims is the wide receiver 2. Douglas is the 2, but could end up becoming the 5. You know, like they're so volatile in New England, in my opinion. So I would probably take Mims over Douglas. Truthfully, I don't want either one on my team, but that's just me. One more spot open in this draft. If you want to draft with us here, and we'd love to have you with us. Real quick, here's a quick update. This is the availability map if you live in any of these states in yellow, including Delaware that was just added. You can draft on Underdog Fantasy as long as you meet the age requirements. We'd love to have you draft with us. I do draft every night. We got the 12, well, the 112 in this draft. If you're drafting with us, let us know in the chat that you're drafting with us and where you're drafting at. Love to have you in here. Please try not to snipe all of our players. If you want to snipe all our players, that's fine. I'll just have to be quiet about who I like. If you're a regular on the show, then you'll probably know some of my guys and you'll know who we're targeting. And hopefully we haven't made you too smart. Take all our good players. Chris T, welcome. Appreciate you. Welcome in. Rate my team. 12-team PPR. Purdy or Goff, Henry, JT, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Kelsey, James Cook. Got Diggs and Cam Coleman on the bench, and going to start whoever's better between Ridley, Diggs, and Coleman. So Purdy and Goff are good. I would have preferred if you had them stacked with a receiver on their team. You don't have a stack there, meaning you don't have a Detroit or a San Francisco 49er. And both of these, Goff is a throw only. He's not going to get any rushing upside. Purdy might get a little bit. I love your running back room, Henry and JT. I think that's fantastic. Garrett Wilson, love it. I love Kelsey where he goes. I think is a great value there. James Cook, I really like as a third running back. So I think you're good at running back. I think you're good at tight end with where he's going. And I think your wide receivers are solid. You just got to kind of rotate them out. So I think it makes sense. I would try and find a way to maybe get, if you could trade Purdy or Goff and get, a quarterback that correlates well with your teams. Maybe you get Drake May, right, to go with Diggs, or you get, hold on one second. We are one pick away. All right, let's see what they leave us with at the 12. Somebody grab Josh Allen at 9. This draft might get nuts, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not going to lie. So we're just going to go ahead and grab, since this draft might get crazy, we're going to get Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brian Thomas. We're just going to not mess around, take the top 2 guys at ADP. Someone call Elvis, tell him he should watch our show, get on our stream, and maybe he might learn something. Why? Oh, why? And then someone needs to call Slime Santana and ask him why he drafted Brock Bowers at 14. This draft might get nuts, you guys. It might get crazy. I don't know what's going on here. DeAndre Swift, welcome in. Love to have you here. We know you're always in. You are a regular here. Appreciate you having you. Totally won't take Jaylen Warren. Dude, got to take Jaylen Warren. I'm telling you. He is one of my guys. Well, listen, you take who you feel good about. I feel good about Jaylen Warren. I say he's this year's Chase Brown. That's where I'm at. He is the RB1 in Pittsburgh. And if you know anything about Mike Tomlin and the AFC North, he rides the guys that he loves. And so I can see him riding him all year long. Christy says, I know I kind of just waited out in quarterback, but kind of waited too long. Listen, you got to roll what you got, right? And I don't think you have any problem with it. I think your team is solid all the way through. I think you have for a 12-man team, you should feel really, really good about who you have. And then just work the trades. Listen, the draft is a great way to set your team up for success, but trades and waiver wire moves are what win you leagues. So try and maybe you combine the two. I don't know how many flex players are on your team. but you could combine a couple guys, and turn it into, something even better, right? So work the trades. You know your team, your league mates, work those trades. Mr. Nick, what's up? By the way, good name. My name is Nick as well. Perfect 216 is what I go by, but Nick is my real name. So love a guy named Nick for being here. You messed my team up, bro. Took Bucky, Evans, and Ibuka. I'm thinking I should trade out of Evans maybe. So what kind of draft are you in? Were you in a 12-man team? Is it a dynasty? Is it redraft? What kind of league are you in? How many teams? How many flex spots, etc.? I think you probably have a better chance of trading Ibuka because he's the flavor of the month. But let me know what else you got. You said maybe Evans for Garrett Wilson. If you could get Evans for Garrett Wilson, I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Now, unless you had, do you have on quarterback? Do you have Baker Mayfield? Because that makes a difference. Christy had picked 12. All right. 10-man league for Mr. Nick, home league PPR. 10-man league, you got lots of options, my friend. Hold on one second. We are coming around here at the turn. I'll pause and come right back to you. I promise. All right, we're on the board. We're going to take the value here. ADP at 33. We're going to get him at 36. Garrett Wilson as our third wide receiver. And then we're going to go ahead and grab George Kittle as our tight end one. I love him in the 4th round. I don't have a ton of him, but it makes sense to get him here. So we're going to start Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, and George Kittle. Feels kind of nice. Jander, so Garrett Wilson is so talented. He really is. Here's the problem with Garrett Wilson. And by the way, I've drafted a ton of him, so don't take this wrong. First of all, you have Justin Fields thrown to him on the Jets when they have a couple of good running backs. And then you have Justin Fields, who is probably going to run the ball. But I do think he's going to get thrown to a ton. But that means he's going to get double teamed. So that's the problem. They don't have anybody else running routes behind him that anybody should be worried about. Maybe Mason Taylor, right? So Garrett Wilson will get double teamed all year. And that's the problem you have with Garrett Wilson. But I love him. I really do. Super talented guy. Should get a lot of targets. And if their offense is a little bit better, I think you will feel good about him. I feel good getting him. You see, I get him here in the 3rd round, and I feel fantastic about it. But if he's your wide receiver 1, I'd be a little more nervous. In best ball here, he's my wide receiver 3, and I feel fantastic about it. True, but I guess the run game can help open the pass. It could if it's effective, right? The problem is we don't know what Justin Fields' true upside is going to be. And I like Justin Fields. I like that there's an Ohio State connection there between him and Wilson. And I'm going to play optimistically that, they're going to have a great year. I really am. So don't feel too bad. Christy says, was a draft board in real life. We do every year since 2017. See, I love that. I really, really do. I think that just shows camaraderie. I think it shows dedication to fantasy. I think, it's fun that way. I have a couple of leagues like that we've been doing for years, and it's fun. It really, really is. By the way, real quick, hate to do it, but I love to do it. Throw a like and a subscribe on the stream if you haven't already on the video. It goes a long way. Love to have you here. If you subscribe and put your notifications on, you'll know when I go live. I go live every night between 9 and midnight, drafting fantasy football teams right here on Best Ball. On Underdog Fantasy. It's my favorite place to draft teams. I've drafted in plenty of places, and this is my favorite place to draft. Happy to educate you on Underdog and Best Ball drafts if you need it. I've been drafting teams for years of all kinds, from dynasty to redraft leagues to best ball teams to guillotine teams. And my favorite place to draft is on Underdog. And I've won a ton of money the last 4 years doing this. I've been over $10,000 the last 4 years and would highly encourage you guys to get into it if you haven't already. It is an addiction you won't want to pass up. All right, we'll take Jalen Waddle here. He is the faller at ADP of 54. We're going to get him at 60. That feels really nice. Now we're kind of in a running back mode where we need some value. So we'll get Chuba Hubbard here as our first running back and feel pretty good about it because we get a 6 pick ADP value here. So we're just taking some values, scooping it up, and letting other people make some mistakes. Love the wide receiver room. George Kittle could be the tight end 1 this year. San Francisco has the second easiest schedule, by the way, if you didn't know, out of all the schedules this year. So getting some San Francisco 49ers players should make you feel really good. I love Kittle. I like Ricky Pearsall. Those are my guys this year. DeAndre Swift says, yeah, big question mark around Fields. Tons of guys are on him just based on the rushing. Yeah, and listen, if we're trying to win a whole bunch of money and we're trying to win championships, quarterbacks with rushing upside they just score more points. They're just the ceiling for those guys are here. I mean, they're just through the roof. And so you got to take a chance on some of these guys. You really do. Christy says it's the most anticipated time of the year. Hey, you're not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong. I love drafting fantasy football teams. If you're not feeling the vibe coming out of my mouth, I promise you I do. I've been doing it a long time and really enjoy it. It's fun. That's why you guys are here. You're sitting here listening to me because you're excited. You're getting ready to draft your teams. You might be drafting them as we speak. And you're ready to crush your friends. You want to dominate them. You want to make them do some bad things when they lose to you. And you're going to feel good about it. Christy said, yeah, you had pick 4, but dude didn't want 12, so we traded. Love the back-to-back. I like pick 12. So in best ball, fun fact, picks 9 through 12 typically win the most Best Ball Mania championships. Now, granted, we're only 5 years into this, but the back of the draft has produced more winners than the front. And mostly because if you look in the back of the draft, you have a chance to get 2 round 1 talents in rounds 1 and 2, where there is a little bit of a drop off when you get to the beginning of drafts where those guys are clearly not first round talents. They're more round 2, round 3 talents. So that's why the back half of drafts, typically you can get more values and you can get 2 first round talents in a row. DeAndre Swift says he had a 12-team draft today, full PPR, Mayfield, Barkley, Hampton, Higgins, Rice, Andrews, Devonta Smith, Bateman, Shakir, Tootin, Johnston, Godwin on bench. I love this team. So you have Mayfield as your quarterback. Don't hate it. Barkley, Hampton, love the running back room. Higgins, Rice is a little bit of risk, but you have Smith here. So if Rice is going to be suspended 6 games, you still have Higgins and Smith. Bateman, I think, is good. Shakir could be good. I don't like Tootin, but that's just me. You've got some injury prone and guys that are going to miss time on your team. So there's a little bit of a risk there. Real quick, sorry. Y'all know I got to go with my guy, Jaylen Warren. He's going to be our second running back. Let's see here. And then we're going to get Keon Coleman as our 5th wide receiver. Keon Coleman had a great camp. I really like how this team has started out. I'm definitely going to need some more work at running back, but that's okay. Feel really, really balanced right now, and that's what it's all about. Gender Swift says you're dangerous. You are dangerous, my friend, and you're dangerous because you're in here. You're smart. You've been paying attention, and you drafted your team, and you're ready to get real dangerous with your league mates. Pick 4, you just don't know what you're going to get coming around turn round 2. Now, I will say this. Like if you look at here, let's just look pick 4. I like pick 4. Nothing wrong with 4. My favorite draft slot this year is actually 6. I like 6 and 7. And I really 5, 6, 7 is my favorite space this year to draft. And if not, just give me the 11, 12 and I'll make it work. But at 4, you can plot it out, right? You can kind of get a rough idea of what you want to do. For me, you're most likely going to be out on the wide receivers. So you're going to get, like, let's say Saquon Barkley here at 4 would be my preference. So you get Barkley at 4, and you see what comes back to you, if it's another running back or not. And then you come back and you smash wide receivers, right? And you're going to feel pretty good about it. But you got to know going in that most likely in round 2, when you're at pick 4, your best options on the board are not going to be wide receivers. They're going to be running backs. So if you don't get a wide receiver at pick 4, like Lamb or Jefferson, that fall to you, and you're getting Barkley here, you're probably going with a running back start. So if you know that going in, before your draft even starts, you can go in with a plan. You should always go in with a plan, always understand value, and know what your league mates are going to do. It will make your drafting much, much easier. Tons of great players missing some form of time notice. Yeah, this is a weird year. We're seeing a lot of guys missing time. Not like season-ending injuries per se, but definitely some guys missing some time. You're at 50% of Rashee Rice? My man, you definitely need some help. I like Rashee Rice as much as the next guy. 50% is strong, and I don't recommend that at all. So I cannot get on the same page as you. But you know what? If Rice ends up being the guy you need this year, then you, my friend, are getting set to make a ton of money, and you're going all in on Rashee Rice. Christy says, yeah, Yahoo rated Coleman my worst pick based off ADP, but I've heard that he's looking like a completely different player. He's looking great. I personally love me some year 2 wide receivers or year 2 players in general because they have not hit their peak yet. Give me guys with high draft capital, meaning first round, second round draft capital, that have not hit their peak yet. Real quick, we're on the clock. We're going to get Brock Purdy here to pair him with George Kittle. And then we'll take Travis Etienne as our third running back and feel good about it. But yeah, so when you listen, the problem with most people that draft fantasy football teams is they draft with recency bias. What does that mean? That means I know what you did last year, and now I want you this year. That's great. But that means they would probably hit their ceilings last year. You want to get guys this year that haven't hit their ceilings yet. You want to be ahead of the curve, not behind it. That's how you win. You don't have to get crazy. Don't be foolish. But you win by, drafting and thinking ahead. Who's going to break out this year? Who's got a great value this year? Who are people sleeping on that they shouldn't? And you take your chances there. And that's how you win. Because when you're right, you win big. When you're wrong, okay, not the end of the world. You move on. DeAndre Swift says, I'm just so in love with slot wide receivers who are in great offenses. Tons of screens, reception monster, delusional about his off-field issues. Yeah, I like guys who, end up in those types of roles. In best ball in particular, I love guys that have speed, that can be PPR reception monsters. But I want guys that, even if you're not, let's say, you're Rashid Shaheed or Rashad Bateman, since they just went in round 10. I love those guys. They're the kind of guys, they might catch 3 balls in a game and go for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns because they can take it to the house every single time. Versus, I don't love guys, let's just say, necessarily depending on where they go, I don't want a guy necessarily like, I don't get a ton of Jacoby Myers. He's not a guy who's going to catch a ball and run 75 yards. Someone's going to catch him. He needs 10 catches to get 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he might still do that. I don't mind having him on my team. He's a good floor guy if you have a bunch of, high ceiling guys. But I don't love a player like that. I want guys that can catch a couple balls. I want Zay Flowers. I want Tyreek Hill. And, I want guys like that are going to catch a ball, make a guy miss, get me 50 yards and a touchdown in one play. Those guys can win you championships. Those guys can break fantasy football. That's what I want. I'll let everybody else take the difference. Now, I I have Amon-Ra on this team. He's more of a possession guy. He's a high volume guy, and that's okay. But I have plenty of other guys around us here that can do the opposite. So it's all about balance, my friends. All right, coming up on some back-to-back picks here. We're going to get Trevor Lawrence to be our second quarterback. He stacks with Etienne. He stacks with Brian Thomas. I feel fantastic about doing that. And then, we've got options here. I'll just grab Ray Davis as our fourth running back. So we've started Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Warren, Travis Etienne, Ray Davis. Wide receiver, we have Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Keon Coleman, and George Kittle. Feel pretty good about this team. Feel pretty good. Pretty good. And that's why I avoid Chase. Well, say Jamar Chase, if that's who you're referencing, Jamar Chase is different. He is a monster. He's going to get fed in a pass-first offense, and he can take it to the house every single time. I love Jamar Chase. I really, really do. No problem with Jamar Chase is you got to get him at 101 every time. So you're not going to get him anywhere else. You mean as far as the ceiling aspect? Yeah. I mean, you are getting him at a ceiling, right? If you pick him at 101, you're expecting him to be the wide receiver 1. That's kind of the scary part, I guess, of getting a guy like Jamar Chase, right? You expect him to be the guy. And he might be, and he should be. He's going to score you a lot of points. I would say Chase is pretty much locked in. If he's healthy, he's going to be a wide receiver. He's going to be, first, second, and third best in the entire league. Again, it's almost feels guaranteed. He did. Yeah, actually, let's look him up. I'll tell you right now what he had. So last year, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks out of 18. So half of the weeks, he was a top 10 wide receiver in PPR scoring in terms of, where he finished. He was the number 1 wide receiver, 403 PPR fantasy points, the number 1 receiver last year. You are correct. 93% snap share, 175 targets, 127 receptions, 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns. Which, by the way, listen, if y'all think he's going to get 17 touchdowns again this year, you're probably wrong. You're dreaming. But, I mean, even if he got 350 PPR points, he's still worth it at the 101. I mean, because his upside is so strong. Target share, almost 28%. I mean, what made him so good was 17 touchdowns. Guys, 17 touchdowns is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Christy said, to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if he has a better year this year. He might. I mean, listen, him and Joe Burrow they're it. Like, they are it. And they're going to keep throwing. Their defense stinks in Cincinnati. It still stinks. They did nothing to fix it. So the only way they win games is by throwing the football. Let's not kid ourselves. So there is a world where he actually gets better. Which is a crazy world we're all living in. Speaking of crazy worlds we're living in, we're going to get Strange to double stack. Actually, technically triple stack with Trevor Lawrence and feel great about it. We might even stop at 2 tight ends. Man, option. I'm going to get Hollywood Brown here as our next receiver. Good offense. We know we're going to see Rashee Rice probably suspended for 6 weeks this year. If he's healthy, could end up filling that wide receiver 1 role. Let's not kid ourselves, on a really good offense. So feels like a good pick here when you need a guy. Let me scroll on down just a little bit so you can see what's rolling. T out-targeted Chase early last year, then he missed games. Yeah, and that's part of it, right? But the opposite could be said, if Chase goes down or something happens to him, T. Higgins could be the guy this year. But my issue with T. Higgins is, let's look at this for a second. Let's take a look. Y'all scroll up here. T. Higgins goes in round 2 or early round 3. I don't get a lot of T. Higgins because it doesn't make sense to me. In order for him to pay off his draft position, Chase would have to get hurt, or Higgins would have to be a preferred target. He's not the preferred target. And you have other guys that are wide receiver 1s going in the next round before him. He is a wide receiver 2. He should be a late 3rd, early 4th pick. But because he crushed in the fantasy football playoffs last year, everyone's got recency bias, and they keep taking him here. I'm low on Higgins where he gets drafted because of that. Where other people are like, oh, he plays for Cincinnati, he's going to do great. He might, but the only way he finishes higher than where he's already being drafted is if Chase misses time. And you can't bet on that. So I don't love where he's going. I don't think it makes sense. And $10 says next year he's going in round 3 or 4 because he doesn't finish the same. So I'll take that bet if anyone wants to bet on that. You can see him hitting 2,000 yards. Listen, he's that good. He really is. Ja'Marr Chase. Chrissy says maybe less touchdowns, but the way Higgins is constantly injured, if Chase hits 2,000, wouldn't be shocked. I agree. I think that's why he's going at 101. I think most people would agree, and I feel the same way. I do want to say Chase had 25% of his points against the Ravens. The Ravens now invested in their defense this offseason. One of those Baltimore games Higgins missed. Yeah, I mean, they got to play the Ravens twice, right? They're an AFC North team. But twice is not enough for them to shut down, a whole year of Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow. I mean, I don't think you just stop talent. That they're just that good, right? T. Higgins played high school football 30 minutes away from where you live. That's awesome. You should get his phone number and tell him we said what's up. Have him join the stream. That would be fun. Tell T. Higgins, come on here and tell us why we should draft more of him. That would be a fun way to go. All right. We got some work to do. Let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to grab Rico Dowdle as our 5th running back. I don't know why I did that when I have Chuba Hubbard already, but we can. We should not be afraid. And Chris Rodriguez in Washington will be a 6th running back. So we'll be done at running back at this point. We may stop at 2. We're definitely stopping at 2 tight ends. I feel really good about what we have here. We will get 2 more wide receivers probably and do a 2-6-8-2 build is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. But I think it's a very balanced team overall. And I feel really good about it. And I've got another draft in me, guys. I feel pretty good. Would love to have you guys draft. Let's try that again. I would love to have you guys draft with me. Where do you have T ranked? All right, let's look at it. Tell you what, when we get in the next draft, I think I'll look. But I believe I have T. Higgins ranked somewhere in the 3rd round. Like I think he goes at 25 normally. And off the top of my head, I want to say I have him ranked in like much later than that, like maybe in the early 30s. But I'm guessing. We'll look here in just a second. Oh, it's her in terms of wide receivers, full PPR. Yeah. Give me 1 minute. We'll take a quick peek. Real quick, when we're just want to show something that I look at for best ball drafts in general. When you're trying to make money, we are in a tournament with 672,000 other teams. So what does that mean? We need upside. We need to do things that raise our ceiling. That means we have to stack our pass catchers with their quarterbacks. That raises our ceiling. We also have to stack and look at week 17. Why? Because week 17 is the fantasy football playoffs, which means if you make it there, you want to have players from the highest scoring game that week, which gives you another ceiling boost if you pick the right game and the right matchup and they're on the right team. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just 1 second. It's not a requirement, but it is a recommendation on how you can play the game. I don't have a lot of Darius Slayton. I'm just going to throw him on this team. Who else makes sense on this team? We get Tyler Lockett, wide receiver 2 in Tennessee. So real quick, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Running back, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Warren, Travis Etienne, Ray Davis, Rico Dowdle, Chris Rodriguez. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Keon Coleman, Hollywood Brown, Darius Slayton, Tyler Lockett. Tight end, we have George Kittle, Bretton Strange. We did triple stack Trevor Lawrence with Etienne, Brian Thomas, and Bretton Strange. We did a Brock Purdy stack with George Kittle. San Francisco plays week 17. They play Chicago. We don't have any Chicago Bears. And then Jacksonville, just for those of you, quick peek at the screen. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I see when you're not seeing on stream. This is the fantasy football playoffs, weeks 15, 16, 17. These are the matchups that I look at. And I'm particularly looking at week 17. I want to know which games are going to go off, and I want to have a little bit of both players. So if we look at Jacksonville Jaguars, they play the Indianapolis Colts. I do not have any Colts on this team. So I haven't maximized, right, my ceiling in that regard. But you don't have to have week 17 correlation, but there are some people out there that will tell you week 17 is all that matters. All right. Real quick, I will get into one more. So I'm not going to do Best Ball Mania. I've got 24 more shots at it. I'll save that for tomorrow to do some more. I will get into a Puppy 4, which is a $5 entry, or a Flock Contest, which is a $10 entry. Let me know what you guys want me to do in case you guys want to draft with me. Fantasy Dog, number 3 like. Been watching for a while. I fell asleep. Can we do a puppy? Only one I can afford right now. Just asking. Absolutely, we can do a puppy, my friend. We sure can. I'm glad you checked in. Let's get into a puppy. So I will give you all a quick countdown. Puppy 4 coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in it. 4 more slots available in this puppy tournament. Jump on in with me. Love to have you in. Thanks, dude. Fantasy Dog. Absolutely. Glad to have you in, my friend. You know how much I love having you on the stream. You are a good man. I don't care what they say about you. And you made it in here, it looks like, at 111. So glad to have you. If anyone else is in here, please let us know where you're drafting from. I am at the 106. Fantasy Dog made it in with us at the 111. Love to have you guys on. If you want to draft with us live, look in any of my descriptions of any of videos. you can get on Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code Perfect216 and you can get a 50% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. So if you were to put in, for example, $100, you get $50 for free. If you deposit $1,000, you get $500 for free. Imagine if you had $1,000 to throw in here, getting $500 put in here for free. That's a lot of money, guys. So Fantasy Dogs is slightly below average if the truth is known. The truth is what you make it, my friend. Truth is what you make it. Before we get into this one, real quick, I would appreciate if everybody would throw a like on the video. A little love goes a long way, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get up to 250 subscribers before the regular season, if not more. Would appreciate the support. It matters more than you know. If you like the video, great. If you don't like the video, like it anyway. Why not? It's fun to show a little bit of love. Let's see what happens here at pick 6. I love pick 6. It is my favorite position to draft from this year because you're guaranteed what I feel like is a absolute dominant player at their position without argument. And in this case, you get the faller. So we're going to get either Barkley or Justin Jefferson. We get Saquon Barkley at 6. That feels fantastic. Jacked about how the start will look. Let's see what Fantasy Dog pulls out. It ain't bragging if it's the truth. It's only the truth. What's the movie? You Can't Handle the Truth with Tom Cruise. I love that movie. Few Good Men. That's what it is. Few Good Men. Love that movie. So is JJ number 7 then? I wish. So I have the latest I've seen Justin Jefferson go is at pick 9, which was very rare. I have Justin Jefferson. I've gotten him on a team at pick 8. And that team felt disgusting to have him there. Actually, really quick before I'm going to just jump out here. I want to show you guys something. For those of you that were not watching my other streams, yesterday I got Justin Jefferson at pick 6. Let me show you that draft. I'll show you the board real quick. I paired him up with A.J. Brown, Josh Allen, Williams. I got Kenneth Walker in the fifth round. I got some great values yesterday. This is a $2 million type team that I was able to draft based on average draft position. So I felt great yesterday with this team that I drafted. So, yeah, definitely feel good. Fantasy Dog goes Derrick Henry at 11. And he's going to follow that up with, drum roll, please, Drake London. Love the Drake London pick, my friend. Y'all know I like Drake London in the second round. One of my favorite wide receivers. Between him and A.J. Brown, I think you can't go wrong. Let's see what comes to us at pick 19. We got Saquon to fall to 6. So now we're trying to build a unique team at 6. So we want players to go later so that way we can get a value. We want like an Achane or an A.J. Brown here. These would be the 2 ideal picks to go with Saquon Barkley at 6. That would create a bit of a unique stack for us. Because most of the time you don't get Saquon with Achane. You don't get Saquon with A.J. Brown. But I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see what Jetpack does. See if he wants to fly away from Devon Achane. And he does. I feel awesome. Achane normally goes at pick 15, 16. He's going at 19 here. So now we have a very unique start with Barkley and Achane. This is my kind of team, my friends. Patience and play the values that come to you. That's what you should do in these drafts. Let the values fall your way. By the way, I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. I don't think I said that earlier, and I want to wish everybody the best, and hopefully everybody's going to have a great Monday tomorrow. I have an extremely busy Monday. I have a ton of meetings, a lot going on at work. We have an acquisition of a bunch of restaurants we're taking over, and I'm going to be busy for the next year plus. I mean, I'm not that I haven't been busy, but it's going to be a busy, busy time. So while we're being busy, let's have some fun drafting teams while we're doing it. Let's win $2 million, shall we? In this draft, real quick for those that don't know, it's a $5 entry into the Puppy 4. 225,000 people will enter. $100,000 first place, $75,000 for second, $50,000 for third. Let's win $100,000 tonight. Let's let Fantasy Dog, you know what? We'll let you win $100,000. We'll take 75. We won't be greedy. We'll split it. You got a lot of Henry first and then Lundgren. All right. Well, I mean, you know what? Hey, go with what you feel. Go with what feels good to you and take advantage of it. And if you're feeling good about it, then that's what means something, right? Speaking of feeling good, what are we going to get at 30? That's the question. Is T. Higgins going to fall to 30? Am I going to actually have T. Higgins on a football team? I'm not. So we can go Lamar. We can go wide receiver. When we go double running back, I think we need to get wide receivers. So we're going to pass on Lamar. Get Marvin Harrison Jr. Look over my shoulder. It tells you on the board. There are 3 guys I think you guys should get. Jaylen Warren, Marvin Harrison Jr., Keon Coleman. It's written down. It's over my shoulder. Don't forget it. Christy said, get Lamar. I know. Listen, I get it. But here's the thing. In these drafts, I just want to point this out. You have to start 3 wide receivers. You only need to start 2 running backs. So we're going to punt running back for now because we're locked. When we go running back with 1 and 2, we can do that double anchor strategy. That means we're not counting on a lot of the other running backs to do anything. But the wide receiver drop-off is huge after round 5 and 6. You have to start 3 wide receivers every week. 4 if you use a wide receiver as the flex. So if you don't get enough wide receivers through the next few rounds, we're in trouble. So if you're going to take a double wide receiver or double anchor RB start, you cannot afford to fall behind at wide receiver. You just can't. You will be in trouble, and you won't make up enough points to make up the difference. I promise you that's the case in 99% of the time. You'll be taking these $5 that we just entered into this tournament, and you'll light it on fire, and you'll go, why did I even play? We don't want to do that. We had an awesome start with Barkley and Achane. Don't jinx it. Take the value and play it smart. And I do love Lamar. If Achane wasn't there and I went wide receiver, I probably would have taken Lamar because I would have already had a wide receiver on the team. We will this one's tough. All right, Cook goes. We're going to go Kittle or Pickens here. This is hard. The value says Kittle. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I don't like it, but we're going to do it. The value of Kittle, who normally goes to 36, we're going to get him at 43. So now that we've gone elite tight end, he is one of the 3. We've already gotten a double anchor running back. We have to smash wide receiver. We cannot even consider a quarterback in the next few rounds. I will say this, though. If Jalen Hurts, who has an ADP of 43, comes back to us at 54, Okay, we might have to consider that. I don't want to, but we might have to. There are plenty of options down here that we can grab at wide receiver. And that's who I'm assuming we're going to get. I don't see Jalen Hurts making it back this far, but you never know. Seen Higgins fall to 34 tonight. Yeah, Higgins to 34. See, for me, that's when I want to take him. That's where I think he belongs. I think that's where it makes the most sense for him. And that's a good place to get him. When you get a fall like that, that's when you want to get Joe Burrow in round 6 to pair with him, because you know you've got him uniquely later, right? Breece Hall goes, please someone take Jalen Hurts. Y'all are not going to let him go to 54, are you? You wouldn't do that. You're going to do it, aren't you? Listen, if Jalen Hurts falls to 54, I'm going to have to take him. And he doesn't. Guys, I don't know what's happening here. This is ridiculous. How do I not take him here at 54? Jalen Hurts in the 5th round is stupid. But now we have a problem. We have to dig out of this wide receiver hole aggressively. We cannot touch running back, quarterback, or tight end for the next 4 rounds. We have to strictly pick wide receiver when we're in this position. Great call on the 5-6 drop off. Yeah, the wide receivers just fall off a cliff. And I love the wide receivers in this range. 3, 4, 5, rounds 3, 4, 5 are great wide receiver rounds. Rounds 1 and 2 are great running back rounds. It's just the way it is. You have to, in order to win these large tournaments, we're going against 225,000 other teams theoretically. We have to take advantage of the ADP, even if you rank them slightly differently. If you don't have ADP value, let your ranks and your player picks be the deciding factor. But if ADP is there and it's significant, you got to take advantage of it. Jalen Hurts doesn't go in the 5th round. Doesn't happen. George Kittle usually goes in the back of the 3rd. Doesn't go necessarily in the 4th all the time. It doesn't happen. Saquon doesn't go at 6. Devon Achane doesn't go at 19. So you just say thank you, and you hope that you're making the right decision. Now, here's the thing. Is Rashee Rice about to fall to 67? Is that about to happen? Are we going to get Rashee Rice here? We are strictly wide receiver only for the next probably 4 rounds, if I'm being honest. At least 3. Without a doubt. It does not matter. The next 3 picks at the minimum have to be wide receivers. At the minimum. All right, Rice finally goes to 64. You're getting me nervous. All right, we're going to get Olave or Golden here. Olave would be my preference. All right, we're going to get Olave here at pick 67. He's got an ADP of 66. So we're getting him kind of right at ADP. Not a screaming value, but we need wide receivers. Have to have it. Have to have it. And this has been a fun start to this draft. If we can get some really good wide receiver values, we might end up making this a disgusting draft on the good side. Let's see what you're rolling with over there, Fantasy Dog. You went Henry, London, Evans, McMillan, Connor, Hubbard. So you're very balanced, right? No elite players at the onesie positions, but I love your wide receiver approach. You've got very good floor value in Henry, Connor, Hubbard. None of them are really great pass catchers per se, but they're on They might be the number ones in our offense. I think you're very balanced right now. It gives you options to, grab, more wide receivers, grab quarterbacks you like, tight ends you like, later rounds. I think you're in a good position. And Hubbard in the 6th round is a stupid good value at 62. I think that's fantastic. Nicely done. Take the value, right? All right, speaking of taking values, I hate Jauan Jennings. Y'all know, if you've been watching my channel, I hate Jauan Jennings. But I might get stuck drafting this guy here. Look at my rank. I have him at 83. I probably should have him lower. Am I really about to draft this guy? Guy's got problems. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm getting Jaden Reed. I can't do it. I should, but I can't. Fancy Dog said, couldn't pass on Hubbard just like Hurts. Listen, I wouldn't either. A 6th round Hubbard is perfect. That's a great value. Great value. You did a nice job. The guy I want to come back to me now is Keon Coleman. Would be my ideal guy. If you take a quick peek at the board right there, he's one of my 3 guys that I'm targeting lately. I think he's had a great preseason. I think he makes a ton of sense. If we look at last year, let's talk about facts for just a second. Let's pull up Keon Coleman and let's see what he's done. Keon Coleman, in his rookie year, did not have one time that he finished as a top 10 wide receiver. His best finish was number 15. He was the 71st ranked wide receiver in all of PPR scoring. Terrible. Only played in 13 games. He missed 4 games. But he had a 75% snap share, but it was only targeted 57 times, 4 touchdowns. He was terrible last year. But he's looking better this year. He's a year 2 wide receiver, more experienced in this offense. And I think with those around him in Buffalo, they kind of need him to be a good guy. He's a big body receiver. He's shown good in preseason. I think they need him. And he's the kind of guy that I want on this team. He also would be a Philadelphia bring back for week 17 when we have Saquon and Jalen Hurts. The problem here is, why is Shakir still here at 84? I hope Jetpack takes him, just so I don't have to consider him. Thank you. We'll take Keon Coleman, as planned, as our 4th wide receiver. We have to keep ripping wide receivers. I like George Kittle at tight end. Love our running back room. Love our quarterback. We have got to keep ripping wide receivers, or we are going to dig out of this hole if we don't. Fancy Dog says, I know people are down on Baker. I'm not. I am definitely not down on Baker. My issue is with Baker, I've got to have his pass catchers with him. And I don't think there's a reason for it. I just don't seem to end up with his pass catchers that often. I am not in on Mike Evans this year. There are other players around him I'd rather have. So that's a problem. I like Ibuka a lot, but he's really getting pulled up draft boards. I liked him earlier where he was going. I don't love where he's going now. So I don't tend to get a lot of him. And then who knows what's going to happen with Godwin, which I actually have a pretty good amount of Godwin in drafts already. And he might not even play for a while. So kind of scares you. Now, I do have a lot of K. Dot, and he's one of my top 5 tight ends this year that I've drafted. So I do like K. Dot. I think with Mike Evans, I think he's finally going to hit his age cliff. I think that's the problem with Mike Evans. It's got to happen at some point. He's going to not have 1,000 yards at some point. And he barely scraped over 1,000 last year, even with Godwin out for the season. So with Ibuka with Godwin healthy, another year of Cade Otton, some good running backs that they clearly have. I just struggle to see. I feel like Mike Evans is being drafted at his absolute ceiling with where he goes. I don't think there's a world where he performs any higher than where he's being drafted. And that's my problem with Mike Evans. I think he has to be perfect to return value with where he's going. I want guys that can exceed with where they're going. So that's the reason I don't end up getting a lot of him. I might be wrong. It's very possible I'm wrong. But it's just kind of what I'm feeling right now these days. All right, we're back on the clock. We're going to take Cooper Kupp. Y'all know we need to keep pummeling wide receivers to make sure we get enough. 12 picks away from more wide receivers. Are Evans and Tech clones of each other? I kind of see them as very similar players. I couldn't agree more with that. But I think obviously the difference is Evans might be on the down. Tech's on the up. He's a rookie. You don't know what his ceiling's going to be yet. And so if Evans is going down, Tech's going up, and Tech goes 2 rounds later, I'll take Tet McMillan over Evans, and that's how I've drafted this year. I would rather have Tet McMillan over Mike Evans in a vacuum. They're close, but I'll take the guy who's going 2 rounds later or a round or 2 later. Just feels like, the upside is better. And let's look at that real quick. You're making me want to challenge myself here. So we don't know what Tet McMillan's going to do. They go near each other in drafts. Last year, Mike Evans was 6 times out of 18 weeks. He was a top 10 wide receiver in a finish. He was the wide receiver 14. He missed 3 games. 71% snap share, 110 targets, 11 touchdowns. He needs the touchdowns to deliver for him. The year prior, he played in all 17 games, was the wide receiver 7, 80% snap share, 13 touchdowns. I think his ceiling is wide receiver 7, and he's got to have the touchdowns and the snap share to do it, and he's got to stay healthy. And I think that could be a problem. Okay. I guess I'll just take Joe Mixon here and take the value. I mean, normally goes at 100. We're getting him at 115. I guess I just got to say thank you and move along, right? At least that's what I'm thinking I got to do. Let's look at Joe Mixon last year. Let me pull Joe Mixon's numbers. What did he do last year? Mr. Mixon. Blah, 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 blah. Let me find him real quick. Oh, sorry. All right. Joe Mixon last year finished as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Last year, he finished as a top 10 running back. That's not bad. He ended up missing 3 games, so he's the running back 17 on the year. 63% snap share. That is the lowest, second lowest, one of the lowest of his career. Since his rookie year, that is the second lowest of his career on snap share. Now he has plenty more talent in the backfield to challenge him. He barely scraped over 1,000 yards last year. And he had 11 touchdowns, which is second most in his career. So without the touchdowns, he's in a really bad spot. And he's going to probably miss time because he's not that healthy. So I again, it just doesn't make the data tells me that it doesn't make sense usually to draft Joe Mixon unless you get him at a value. I'm just not seeing it. And I apologize that I don't see it. We'll just grab Brandon Ayuk here as our wide receiver 6. We need some more wide receiver help. If the team holds on until he comes back from his injury and he comes back and is a lightning rod like he could be, then he could have a big impact on the team. At Chris, Nick has an unblemished record of winning big money 4 years straight. Incredible. I ain't leaving. Hey, my friend, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate the love and the support, as always. It's been a busy stream. I feel like tonight is an example of a night when things have gone really well, meaning to say we've had a lot of new visitors tonight. This might be the stream where we've had the most new visitors on the stream, which just real quick, if you've never been on here before, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. It does mean a lot. It goes a long way. Appreciate the support. And we can grow this thing together. And I'm glad you guys were all here. Maybe we won $2 million today, and you guys were all here to witness it. And if that happens, you guys are famous, right? Because we're all going to be famous because this YouTube video will go viral. And while I'm not here for viral videos, I am here to have a good time. And sometimes that's good enough. Speaking of good enough, I feel like Dallas Goedert needs to come on down and be on my tight end 2, stack him with, Jalen Hurts. That would be good enough. Kincaid goes at 135. 3 more picks. Feel good about the chances of Kincaid coming back. I'm sorry, Goddard coming back with where he goes in drafts. Judkins goes at 137. We just got to dodge my man Jetpack here, and we'll be fine with Dallas Goedert, and we get him. So now we have stacked Dallas Goedert with Jalen Hurts. Feels good to get a little pass catching action there. Now we still got work to do on this team. I really liked how we started. However, I still feel this is not necessarily my favorite way to go by any means, but sometimes you got to be uncomfortable, and maybe that's what you need to win, is be a little uncomfortable. Nothing wrong with that. We still need another quarterback on this team. Running back, we feel pretty good. Quarterback, feel great. Tight end, we feel great. I'm a little nervous we didn't do enough in the wide receiver room, if I'm being honest. And that's because we got these values, and we just had to scoop up the values. So we got to hope that we were right. And here's the thing. We're actually running out of quarterback options on this team. Do we take Penix, who's the faller, or do we just keep taking other players that we know we might use? I think we just need to take Penix here, if I'm being honest. We need our second quarterback. We have some options to backstack him later at the wide receiver position. And we'll see what happens here. ADPs be damned. I'm getting my guys. Listen, I get it. It makes you feel good. You leave the draft with your guys. You look at your team and you go, you know what? You know what? These are my guys. I got a bunch of them. It makes you feel good. And so there's nothing wrong with doing that. I am willing to sacrifice, quote unquote, my guys when the ADP value is good. Not later in the drafts, but earlier in the drafts. Picks 1 through, I'm going to say 1 through 10, maybe even earlier than that, maybe more like 1 through 7, especially picks 1 through 7, or rounds 1 through 7, I should say. I will give up my guys for ADP within reason. If ADP is only a couple picks away, I'll let my guys in my ranks take the difference. But like Jalen Hurts here, no business being in the 5th round. He goes at ADP of 43. We got him at pick 54. You have to take him there. It doesn't fit our team, but you absolutely have to take him when he goes to the 5th round because he never does. Very rarely. You just got to scoop it up, say thank you, and try and make it work. Because if it does work, you're a genius and you win a bunch of money. At least that's the idea. All right. We're probably done at quarterback. We're probably done at tight end. So now we just need to look at running back and wide receiver here. Take Rachaad White, Tampa Bay running back here as our 4th running back. I want to mess with my Stream Deck that I have basically not used since I used to stream a little bit on Twitch back in the day when I was a gamer, when I was streaming Call of Duty. And I want to see if my Stream Deck will do some fun things somehow on these streams. That will be fun. Like if we get a great pick, like can I throw some like flames up there or something, you know, like a fire pick. I don't know. We gotta play with stuff. And if not, I'll have plenty of time in the off season to do some videos and some other things and play with things so that when we get to next season, we will have an even more impressive channel. If this thing keeps growing, I will keep going. I should put that on a t-shirt, right? If it keeps growing, I'll keep going. At least that's what my wife says. But seriously, if we can keep growing this channel, I will keep doing this. If people find value in it, if they like being here, if they enjoy the content, I'm going to keep doing this. If it becomes one of those things where it just dies off, then we will have to make some other decisions. Nick Chubb is our 5th wide receiver. Come on down. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Now, because we've done Chubb and Mixon on the same team, which I didn't realize, we will probably get a 6th running back. I don't know. We'll see. We don't really need the extra tight end. We don't really need the extra quarterback. So we can probably do a 2-6-8-2 build here. Fancy Dog, how are you feeling about your team, sir? Let's take a quick peek. Henry, Connor, Hubbard at running back. You got Mayfield and Young as your quarterbacks. Mayfield, you have stacked up with Evans, Godwin. Love the double stack there. Young, you have Thielen and Leggett. Love that. Wide receiver, London, Evans, McMillan. Oh, you got a triple stack. No, you have a quad stack with Carolina. You have McMillan, Hubbard, Thielen, and Leggett. Wow. You said Carolina Panthers for the win with that team. I normally don't get that many players on a team, but 3 maybe, but 4? That's strong, brother. That's a full-on bet. Listen, if Carolina smashes, you're the guy, right? You're the man. Zach Ertz, Tyler Warren at tight end. Listen, you are clearly all in on the Carolina Panthers this year with the way you drafted this team. And by the way, I don't fault you for it. I think there's some great values. He said, I know. Wow. Yeah, man. You know what? Sometimes before you look, you don't know what you got until you got it. Does that even make sense? What I'm just saying there. I am getting tired tonight. It's starting to fade a little bit. This dude, MDERR, has 4 quarterbacks. Someone should tell this guy, if I could cue up a video right now from Tin Cup where it says, somebody tell that guy he doesn't have to hit it from there. That's what I feel. My man needs to realize that he does not have to do what he just did. Crazy. Crazy. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. Happy to have you here. Which I guess I'm a little late to this party, but I guess now would be the time to change my like the end of the stream, and I'm over here now changing my banner because we're in a puppy 4. Let's I do this every single week where whenever we change off of what we're doing, I keep forgetting to change the banner. One day we'll smooth this thing out. It'll happen. My wife gave me permission to go ahead and get me a massage tomorrow. So I say permission to say that sometimes it's like if I get one, I got to get us both one, right? So, but my back has been killing me today. And so she's telling me I can leave work tomorrow and go figure out a massage situation to get a little support for my back. So I may do that after work tomorrow if I have some time. My back's killing me. The gym, I felt great at the gym too. It's like I went to the gym, got my grilled chicken afterwards, went home, and I was in the shower, and I'm like, I'm in pain. This sucks. Like, it just came out of nowhere. So, need to work that out. Do a little stretching. Listen, when we get the kind of value on Jalen Hurts we better get another wide receiver on this team. So I'm going to scroll on down to Jahan Dotson. By the way, have you ever scrolled down so far you ran out of players? Like, man, that's pretty crazy. That's like a galaxy brain thought right there. You scroll down so far. Let's try that again. Looking for a guy that you ran out of players. It's pretty sick. You're like, I'll take the wide receiver 8 from the practice squad on my team because I think he's going to smash this year. Chances are it's not going to happen. Which, by the way, I have to be honest with you. I don't understand why people take wide receiver 4s and beyond, or running backs 3, maybe 3s, but I just don't get it. The chances of them being a dead pick or a 0 on your team is so high that it just doesn't make any sense. That I don't know why people do it. But I'll just let people keep doing that. And I'll say thank you along the way. Face Dog says, I will put in the comments a stretch exercise that very well may change your life. You know, I missed my last chiropractor appointment, and he gave me some good stretches to do. I missed it. It was like a week and a half ago, and I'm regretting it now. I need to revisit that, and I need to hit a massage for sure. It definitely will help. All right, we're gonna get Jahan Dotson here, and technically triple stack Jalen Hurts. So we're done with this one. We've got a 2-6-8-2 build. We got Jalen Hurts, Michael Penix at quarterback. Running back, we got Saquon Barkley, Achane, Joe Mixon, Rachaad White, Nick Chubb, Rico Dowdle. Wide receiver, we have Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Ray McLeod, Jahan Dotson. Tight end, we have George Kittle and Dallas Goedert. I don't know that I love this team, but it was definitely a fun start. This is why I hate going elite quarterback, elite tight end and the same team. But when these guys fall this far, you just kind of have to take them. And you make it work. But it's not my favorite way to build a team by any means. But maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what you need to win. So that's just what it is. Suffer with sciatica for 30 years. You know what? I will tell you this. I actually have scoliosis in my spine. I found out that I had scoliosis at I think I was 32 years old. All the sports I played 17 years of baseball, travel ball, talked about trying out for the minor leagues and the majors, all that stuff. With all the physicals I did, you'd think they'd find this stuff. And then one day I was like, my back's a little sore. Went to a chiropractor. They did an x-ray. And the girl who was doing the x-rays was like, did you know your back was always this way? And I laughed. I thought she was making a joke. And I said, what are you talking about? The doctor comes to see me, feels down my back, shows me the x-ray and goes, yeah, dude, your spine's crooked in 2 places. I have a pretty significant scoliosis in my spine. And so ever since then, I've been absolutely in the gym, working out, staying healthy, which I always was, but really extra motivation. I got 3 kids. I want to be able to be active with them. So been really tearing it up since. And so, some things you don't take for life, take for granted in life, and I don't want to be the guy that's paralyzed when I'm 40 or 50. I want to be active. And so, just sharing with you guys that fun fact of, staying ahead of things and taking life as it comes at you and staying, just trying to do the best you can with what you got, right? That's what we do. So all good. You're feeling good about your team. I like it. You can't stop with AR. I get it. I've taken enough AR where I feel like I've got enough of him on teams that I'm pretty much tapped out on AR. I don't think I'll click him the rest of the teams, but I got enough. So if he ends up working out, I've got enough teams where he's dangerous. And so no worries. You didn't play pro or even close on baseball, was hired gun for shortstop for 10 years or so. All right. I like it. Heat Lifer. Thoughts on Deontay Thornton? I got him my last pick today. Listen, so he's a 4.3 running guy in the 40. He is on a Raiders team where they're looking for guys for the long term. I think he's a great slot receiver option. I've drafted him plenty. I think he's a great last pick in drafts. I don't think you did anything wrong there. I think you did the right thing in grabbing a guy like that just as a random pick. He'll be on waiver wires in a lot of teams, and I think that'll be fine. Fancy Dog agrees with me. And so don't feel bad about getting him. You got to take chances and see what happens. He could easily end up being a great slot option. And when you get that type of archetype type of player, he's the kind of guy where he doesn't need 8 balls to be caught every game to be valuable. He can catch 2 or 3 balls and go 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? So feel good about what you did there. And I've gotten him on some teams. I've taken him randomly. The problem is that for me, He's not in a great offense. I think they're going to be run first. He's probably the number 3, 4, 5 option on that team, but he could break out. So I think taking stabs at him feels pretty good. Thanks for the feedback. Hear a lot of good things about him. Yeah, he's had a good camp too, and I've said this earlier in the stream. You want to take guys in drafts that haven't peaked yet. So get guys that you think have a chance, throw them on your bench, and if they break out, then you win the league, right? Like that's how you win money. That's how you win tournaments. That's how you win championships. You don't win by picking guys that were great last year. You win by picking guys that you think are going to be great this year. And you got to take chances. That's what we do here. So got to take chances. Real quick, if you don't mind, I would love for you to hit like and subscribe on the stream, on the video. I do go live every night between 9 and midnight. I will draft 2 to 3, maybe 4 teams every night leading up to the regular season. Then I will get into player props, prop betting, daily fantasy sports betting, start sit questions when the season gets here and update you on all the things that we're doing. I'm almost at 600 teams drafted this year. We'll probably be at 700 by the time the year starts, and would love to have you guys come join us. In the description below and all my videos, I do have a link to Underdog Fantasy, which is where we're drafting. And if you use my promo code Perfect216, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. So if you deposit $100, you get $50 for free. You deposit $1,000, you get $500 for free. It's a lot of money sitting out there. So I encourage you to draft with us live, just like my man Fantasy Dog did tonight. And appreciate you guys stopping. Heat Lifer, thank you, my friend. Glad to have you on. We did 4 drafts tonight. And you guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully we won a whole bunch of money while doing it. I felt great about tonight's drafts. I know you guys are getting ready for your redraft leagues. I encourage you to check out some of my other videos and some of my other live streams. And I will be on again tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Monday. And nothing like a Monday night draft to get us all started for the week. So hopefully you guys had a great week. Hopefully you guys have a better Monday, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for being on. Have a good evening.